Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad you decided to tune in. Hey, this segment right here is going to be specifically designated for baseball. Of course, we know Tuesday night the Cowboys went on the road. They completed their Texas tour at Dallas Baptist, and it was not good news. So, hey, we have a lot to talk about on the baseball front, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it, and let's talk Cowboy baseball. So the Cowboys went to Dallas Baptist on Tuesday, and they dropped a 14-4 run rule decision. It was a catastrophic fourth inning where the Cowboys, they had 5 errors total on the game, 4 in the fourth inning. Not only that, they missed cutoff men. They allowed trail runners to move up. It was just simply put, bowling shoe ugly from a defensive perspective. And I know listening to Josh with Rex in the post game, he was not happy at all. It was one of the maddest post games I think I've ever seen Josh in terms of just his tone and temperament. At that point, he wasn't happy. He did mention the Cowboys have 5 guys down to injury, but that is no excuse. Hey, we recruit guys that are great baseball players. We train them. We throw them out there. And so they need to play better than what they did Tuesday. Not meaning to throw shade, not meaning to be negative. I hate being that way. But, hey, we all want the same thing. We want Oklahoma State to play Omaha caliber baseball. They're capable of doing it. So we have to be real with some of the things that they need to fix and adjust to play that caliber of baseball moving forward. So got to clean up the defense. Can't have 4 errors in one inning. Can't miss cutoff guys and let trail runners move up bases. Can't make 5 errors total. And then another thing, the Cowboys, they struck out 9 times and only walked 3. So like the Dodgers, I cover the Dodgers on my Dodgers Daily site, my sister site, like OkState Daily. The Dodgers strike out a lot. They always have. But what they also do is they walk a lot. So like a guy like Max Muncy, who hit less than 200 last year and strikes out a ton, the reason why they put up with that guy, or the reason they actually like that guy, is because he walks a lot. So he's actually getting on base. So if you're striking out a lot and then not walking a lot, what happens is, which is what the Cowboys did Tuesday, is that you're putting no pressure on the defense. Whereas at least if you walk, you have guys on base, you're getting the pitchers in stretch positions. And because of that, a team like the Dodgers, now obviously they're extremely talented, but they come up to bat with more guys on base than any other team in the organization. Although if you look at their batting average, it's somewhere in the middle of the pack in the National League, and that's because they draw walks. Plus, here's another deal. When you strike out, strikeouts aren't always bad. We always used to keep a column of what's called quality at bats. And at the high school level, we determined that 7 pitches in at bat is a quality at bat. So even if you strike out, if you see at least 7 pitches from a pitcher, A, that's pitching a grind, that's grinding a pitch count, which is going to get you into the bullpen faster. And B, it's giving the hitter at the plate more pitches to time the hitter, which gives the advantage to the hitter. And C, it's also giving the coaches and all the other hitters in the dugout a better look at the pitcher on the mound. So, hey, strikeouts aren't always the worst thing. I'm not totally anti-strikeout, because I think to be able to draw walks, you're going to have to be able to take some pitches. And when you do that, you're going to get into a lot of 2-strike counts. And if you get into 2-strike counts, you're going to strike out more. So I think the strikeout thing also is just kind of it's almost impossible. You say, well, I want a guy to draw a lot of walks, not strike out a whole bunch. They work hand in hand, because, like I said, to draw walks, you got to take pitches. A lot of times when you take pitches, you get in 2-strike counts. And just from a mathematical equation, if you get into a 2-strike count, you're more likely to strike out, right? So what the Cowboys need to do, this is a group, I've said it before, just looking at Christian Encarnacion Strand. Last night for the Reds, he had a triple. He had 222 at-bats at the major league level last year and did well. Okay, Carson McCusker, he finally got with an affiliate, coming out in 2020 or whatever season it was. There weren't, because of 2020, I should say, there weren't very many professional jobs at affiliates available, so he had to go indie ball first, then signed with the affiliates last year. And I actually got to see him in the Midwest League at the high A level in the finals last year against the Dodgers high A team. and he's doing very well. Colin Simpson, Trevor Boone, they're grinding away. Griffin Dorshing, he's grinding away in professional baseball. Justin Robleski is absolutely killing it with the Dodgers. Brady Basso is grinding away. Victor Medeiros is going to be in the major leagues this year. Hit 99 in spring training with the Angels just over the weekend. So why do I say all that? I just don't think this is a club that has that type of top-end talent that some of the past clubs have had. So I say that to say, not to be depressing or anything, this has to be a club that is more fundamental. This has to be a club that tries to play to the margins. And when I say play to the margins, what I mean is they have to put pressure on the defense. A guy like Lane Forsythe, he needs to hit a ton of ground balls, hard line drives, and just make the other team make as many plays, have to make as many plays as they can. Like, let me give you, for instance, this is just a mathematical formula. The Cowboys struck out 9 times Tuesday night. Dallas Baptist only struck out 7. But Dallas Baptist scored 14 runs and sent a whole bunch more runners or hitters to the plate. So although Dallas Baptist sent a bunch more hitters to the plate, they still struck out 2 times less, which means the Cowboys had to make a whole bunch more plays. And just from a mathematical equation, if you're having to make a whole bunch more plays than your opponent, you're going to make more errors. And when you make more errors, you are going to get beat by the good teams like Dallas Baptist. That's what happened to Oklahoma State. Plus, obviously, the 4th inning was just disastrous. You got to play clean. This is a pitching staff that has some talent on it. Brian Holiday is very, very good. Jansen Kiesel can run it up to home plate. Tommy Molsky is good. Gabe Davis is good. I think Ryan Bogus is going to prove to be what he's been at Oklahoma State, which is a guy that'll go out and battle for you. I love Bogey. But I think this is a pitching staff that is going to have to rely on this defense being more clean maybe than they have even in the past. Hey, Rock Riggio is another guy that you could put in that equation of professionals that's probably going to be a major leaguer. Marcus Brown definitely has major league talent. Nolan McLean. There are just some more guys right there as far as top-end talent goes. So the Cowboys, they're just going to have to dedicate to being scrappy, gritty, fundamental, put hard balls in play, forget the launch angles, quit trying to hit the ball in the air, hit hard ground balls, low line drives, and hey, if the other team just plays great defense all day long, or if those low line drives are finding gloves of the other team, I get it. If you hit a ball 95 miles an hour and you also hit it in the air, it's a home run, which means the other team can't catch it. I understand that philosophy. Whereas if you hit a 95-mile-an-hour ground ball, it might be hit right at somebody. Even if you hit a 95-mile-an-hour line drive, it still might be hit right at somebody and still might end up in an out. Whereas if you hit a 95-mile-an-hour fly ball, it's likely a home run. I understand that entire philosophy. I get it. I know the advanced analytics behind it. Not going to work for this Oklahoma State team. That simply is not going to work. Oklahoma State is going to have to put in more balls in play, and they're going to have to worry about just hard contact, more balls in play, and then walk more. Like the Dodgers, for instance. I cover them for my Dodgers Daily site. They strike out a lot. But you know what else they do? They walk. And because they walk, they have a ton of runners on base. So when they do hit the home runs, it's not solo home run. It's like a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run. Just look at Max Muncy. He's the perfect example of that. He hit less than 200, but because he came up and had more runners on base than any other hitter in baseball when he came up to the plate last year, when he did hit home runs, it was 2 3-run home runs. So his WRC plus goes through the roof. His WAR metrics go through the roof, and he's a very valuable offensive player. So Oklahoma State, get on base, get over, get in. In my opinion, that has to be the offensive philosophy for this group of talent that has been assembled for OSU, especially seeing that they have 5 starters down as of right now. And I know Josh didn't use that as an excuse, and I loved his comment on that. Hey, we recruit guys that are great baseball players. We train them up. They have to go out there and play, and they have to go out there and win games. It's as simple as that. So I think, again, I don't mean to be negative, and I'm not an old school guy. I love I follow a lot of professional baseball. I love the advanced analytics. They make sense in a bunch of different ways, but I think you have to tailor things to the actual type of players you have. You can't see what advanced analytics have tried to do is they've tried to make a cookie cutter mold out of all of the offenses in the major leagues. So what they'll tell you is, hey, you should be worried about the 3 true outcomes. You need to hit home runs, you need to draw walks, and then you need to strike out. The reason why you say you need to strike out is because strikeouts grind pitches. They grind pitch counts. They get into bullpens, and they allow your hitters to see more pitches. And from that perspective, they also tend to leading to drawing walks, because if you draw walks, you're going to take pitches, and if you take pitches, you're going to get to 2 strikes, which is going to make you more vulnerable to strike out. So the advanced analytics would make cookie cutters out of every team. Worry about the 3 true outcomes, but whenever it's different when you have injuries. When you have a team like Oklahoma State does, that cookie cutter mold doesn't always work. Just go look at the Texas Rangers last year. They made a commitment, the same commitment I'm talking about, to quit striking out. The Rangers have always been the Joey Gallo type team where they want a guy to hit the ball back to Houston, and they don't mind if he strikes out. They want big old strapping dudes that can hit the ball a mile, right? And they're not worried about the swing and miss. Go look at the Rangers last year. Hey, the Rangers committed to making hard contact and putting the ball in play. My man Corey Seager is the perfect example of that. In my opinion, the best offensive shortstop in the game. Just look at his offensive profile. He doesn't hit the baseball the way the Oklahoma State Cowboys are hitting the baseball right now. He doesn't, and what I mean by that is obviously he has talent, but from a approach and overall perspective of his plan at the plate, his goal is to hit the ball hard. If the pitch allows him to get it in the air, then he gets it in the air. I've evaluated his swing. It's as flat as can be. He turns the top end over, and that's Corey Seager, and he went and helped that. So I just say that to say, even these major league clubs that have all these advanced analytics at their fingertips, the ones that are winning, now you can win regular season games because the overall number of the amount of data tends to favor the advanced analytics. But when you look at just short sample sizes and teams that actually win in the margins, those are the teams that approach it like the Rangers, and they put balls in play, and they play the percentages from that perspective. So Oklahoma State, I think offensively, is going to have to probably, if they want to beat really good teams, walk more than they strike out for each game, which means that the error totals, I think Lane Forsythe is very good. I think they have a good defensive outfield. I think Wolfert's a good third baseman. I think Aiden Miola is just simply fantastic at second base. So I think the defense eventually will clean up, especially if the Cowboys get healthy. But having said that, you're going to have to put more balls in play than your opponent just to equal those percentages out. So I think if the Cowboys can get in a situation to where they are walking as much or more than they're striking out, and then making fewer errors than the other team because of the balls in play, I think that's the formula where this team has a pitching staff that is good enough to beat good teams and make a run at Omaha. But those are just my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it. And hey, I hope you make it out to the stadium this weekend. Again, just 3 games, not 4. First game is at 4 o'clock on Friday. And then you have a single at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And then the finale at 1 o'clock on Thursday. So hope to see you there. And until next time, as always, I want to thank you for tuning in and say, go Pokes!